What's up, guys? Me Alan. I'm back with another video, and tonight with Diecastbuffet showing off the duels for this weekend's NASCAR Duralast Cup Series Daytona 500. Tonight, well, it's time to preview the damn thing, as I did last year, which of course also means, yes, I will be doing my point standings, and you'll see those in the comments of Diecastbuffet's videos, or me talking about that, I should say. And you will obviously see when we get to the midway point and the end of the season, the videos I do on that. Obviously, I did a preview video last year, so I'm going to do one again this year. But it's a little different, as you can see. Now, because we have Xfinity at my house, or my mom's house, I should say, we get YouTube on the TV. So I have the starting lineup from the duel video that Diecastbuffet posted earlier on the TV. Now, you can see it, but I know the names and the words are hard to read. Don't worry. I got all that covered. So, we will get to this later on. Obviously, as you can also see, I am rocking the Kevin Harvick Gravedigger shirt, which, by the way, thanks to another diecast YouTuber by the name of LW3, Little Wrangler 3, a.k.a. Andrew Keaton, who is also in this series. He has a diecast in it. Kevin Harvick's Gravedigger car. He made a custom of that, and that's going to be in this race. We'll get to that later. But anyway, with all of that being said, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe on my channel, on this video, and also go check out Diecastbuffet's channel. Links will be in the description below to the duel video, to the preview video from earlier this week, and obviously, go leave a like and subscribe there. Let them know that I sent you. Now, with all of that being said and all out of the way, again, before we get to this, let's talk about the duels. So earlier this week in the community tab of Diecastbuffet's channel, he revealed who the front row would be, assuming that both drivers make it out of the duels. And that would be Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who won the pole. Funny enough, if I remember right, he won the pole for, it was either last year or this year's Daytona 500. And then on his outside would be Andrew Keaton. So, would they survive their duels to keep their pole position? Who makes it in? Who gets sent home? Who will have to start at the back? Let's get on with it. So, duel number one. Now, if you saw the preview video, there's a lot of changes in terms of drivers this year, obviously. And there's some new teams get brought in. With that, there's a few things to mention, and he mentioned it in the preview video, but he missed a couple, so I'll mention them here. Obviously, he already talked about the situation for Kyle Larson and for Bubba Wallace, because he does not yet have the 23XI show car that's in Wave 5 of NASCAR Authentic, which just got released. And we don't have any other Bubba Wallace 23 cars out yet. And we don't have any Kyle Larson 5 cars out yet. Larson will be running the 33 car that Ryan Truex was running last year in the Duralast Cup Series. And Wallace will be running a custom-made 45 car until both drivers get their respective diecasts. Or until Diecastbuffet gets their respective diecasts. And then the 45 will go to John Hunter Nemechek. The 33 will go back to Ryan Truex until we get Austin Cindric's 33, in which that 33 car, the custom that Diecastbuffet made, will be retired. I know he's already covered this, but I'm going to cover it here. But there are two other drivers that are not in the competition for now. That being Daniel Suarez and Corey LaJoie. Reason being, we do not have a Corey LaJoie 7 or Daniel Suarez 99 car out yet. So, when those diecasts are released, assuming that both of them get one made, we will see them later in the season. Hopefully. And again, like I said, some drivers, coming to new teams. Another thing to mention is Dominic Konareski. You may know him from his channel, the New York Sports Show. You may remember that he's been racing in the Duralast Cup Series with his own diecast, the 57 car, for the last 2 years. You may remember, if you watch my videos, he actually won the championship in Season 3 under my points format. Obviously, Clint Boyer won under the Duralast Cup Series format. Konareski will not be competing this year unless we get to see a new diecast from him. Reason being is because that diecast that he was running is a 2018-19 car. Now, I'm not sure which year, because, again, it is a custom. And because we're now moving to 2020, 2021 cars, with I think maybe a couple exceptions, but not really. Unless Konareski makes a new car or makes a new custom, we will not be seeing him again. However, we do have another viewer of the channel, Diecastbuffet channel, that is, who we will get to later, that has a diecast in the series, so that's pretty awesome. Now, with all of the explaining out of the way, hopefully, let's actually get to the duels, because we are almost 6 minutes into this video. Anyway, duel number 1. Your starting lineup for that duel will be Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chase Elliott, Carl Edwards, who's in one of the 2 custom Red Bull racing cars. He's in the 85. Kurt Busch, Tyler Reddick, Eric Almirola, Joey Logano, Eric Jones, Matt Benedetto, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Ryan Preece, Michael McDowell, the 2021 Daytona 500 champion in real life, Ryan Blaney, AJ Allmendinger, who's in the 82 car for Buffet Racing South, Greg Biffle, Ross Chastain, Timmy Hill, Chase Briscoe, Cody Ware, Elliott Sadler, Anthony Alfredo, and Brendan Poole are in this duel. Your open drivers for this duel are Edwards, Reddick, Almirola, Logano, DeBenedetto, Keselowski, Buescher, Preece, Biffle, Chastain, Hill, Alfredo, and Poole. 5 drivers who are open cars will not make the field out of this duel. So, as the runs went, and we got down to the end, your winner of duel number 1 would be Anthony Alfredo. And he will now assume the pole position. Here's why. During Elliott Sadler's run, he wrecked coming off of turn 4, collecting Edwards and Stenhouse Jr. As a result of that, Stenhouse Jr. will drop from the pole to the back and will have to be in a, so to speak, backup car, per se. Not really, but, you get my point. Edwards, unfortunately, will not make the show. He is one of the 5 open cars that failed to make it. Anywho, Cody Ware in the 52, he finished his second, and yeah, I know that sounds weird for a Rick Ware racing car, especially being a custom, to be, up near the front when you consider real life. But just remember, last season in the Duralast Cup Series, Quinn Houff won a race in a custom car. So, yeah. Anyway, they can be hit or miss sometimes. Chase Briscoe would finish 3rd, Ross Chastain 4th, Chris Buescher 5th, Brad Keselowski in 6th, Matt Benedetto 7th, Eric Jones 8th, Greg Biffle 9th, Joey Logano 10th, Eric Almirola 11th, and then from Brendan Poole on back, those cars all DNF'd. And in fact, Brendan Poole being the last one of duel number 1 actually saved Almirola, because had Poole not wrecked, Almirola would have been knocked out. Similar to what we saw last year, sort of kind of with the duels. If you remember Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car, he did not get to run in the Daytona 500 because he got knocked out on the last run of his duel. So in this case, it's sort of the reverse. The guy that's on the bubble makes it because the guy that could have knocked him out did not. So it was Poole, Stenhouse Jr., Edwards, Sadler, Hill, Allmendinger, Blaney, McDowell, Preece, Reddick, Kurt Busch, and Elliott that all DNF'd in reverse order, because it's whoever DNF'd the soonest to whoever DNF'd earlier. So as a result of that, as mentioned before, Stenhouse Jr. will start at the back of the field, joined by fellow locked-in drivers Elliott, Kurt Busch, McDowell, Blaney, Allmendinger, and Sadler, who all wrecked. Sucks for Carl Edwards, in his, NDCS debut in the 85 car with, Red Bull Racing, him and the 84, which is Daniel Hemrick, who was in duel number 2, being billed as 2 of the fastest cars, especially among customs, in the series, and for Edwards to not make the show off of getting wrecked, it sucks. But for your real-life New Hampshire winner, Eric Almirola, it saves him. He makes the show. And it is pretty surprising that some of these names that I mentioned before are open cars. 2/3 of Penske are open cars. Almirola, as mentioned before. Buescher for the second year in a row. Reddick was another open car. And that's just... Priest is another one, which kind of coincides with the 2021 NASCAR season because he's running the whole season without a charter, which, by the way, obligatory charter system sucks. I want to throw that in there. But with all that being said, that's just the product of the Duralast Cup Series points format. You only get points if you finish in the top 10. Obviously, my points format's different, and if you've seen the previous videos, you know how that goes. But with Duralast Cup Series points format, if you do not do well, and it really depends on the kind of car you have, whether it's from Authentics or from the Gold Series, really depends on the car itself, and which brings the randomness of this. But if your cars do not do well throughout the season, you get put in this position where in real life you could be one of the best drivers in the field, on one of the best teams in the field, but in Duralast Cup Series competition, that doesn't matter. You could be a back marker or one of the top drivers in the field. And in terms of points and in terms of who can make it in and who doesn't and who has to fight to get in on a season-by-season basis, it's a level playing field because anything can happen. So, yeah. And so, again, Anthony Alfredo will assume the pole position with Stenhouse Jr. wrecking. And it's going to be interesting to see some of these guys come from the back because, again, the later you run, the better chance you have of a higher finish. Whereas if you go earlier, unless you have an extremely fast run, which really doesn't matter on the super speedways because everybody keeps bunched up, there's a better chance of you falling back because other cars that go later might end up faster than you. So, again, whole lot of randomness that is involved with this. And so, for duel number 2, as mentioned, Andrew Keaton was on the outside pole on the front row, so he would be the guy to go first in duel number 2. He is followed up by Cole Custer, Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, Daniel Hemrick, Christopher Bell, Kevin Harvick, Harrison Burton, Kyle Busch, Mark Truex Jr., William Byron, Ray Golding, Bubba Wallace, Chad Fincham, Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon, Denny Hamlin, Marcus Ambrose, Ryan Newman, J.J. Yeley, B.J. McLeod, Gabe Blasco, Quinn Houff, and Justin Haley. And there's a bit to talk about here. As mentioned before, Larson's in the 33, Wallace is in the 45 for now. That's only until their 5 and 23 cars come in. Obviously, for Diecastbuffet in his collection and whatnot. Another thing to mention, and again, as mentioned before, LaJoie and Suarez will hopefully see them later this year. Ambrose is in what was LaJoie's car last year in the 32. So he makes his NDCS debut. Harrison Burton is in the 39, moving over from the 82, which he won a dual race in last year. Obviously, with Chastain moving from the 39 of Buffet Racing South over to the 42 of Tim Ganassi Racing. So, of course, Allmendinger comes up with the 82. And we get to see some returns of guys like Chad Fincham and whatnot. But again, it's also interesting the fact that you have names like Yaley, McLeod, Houff, Haley, who, by the way, is locked in by virtue of the fact of Reed Sorensen. Despite missing some races last season, Sorensen won a race last year, had a good finish here and there, and he ended up locked in on points just because of that. Again, randomness. So, with all of that being said, how would this duel turn out? William Byron would win the duel with the open cars of Hemrick and Wallace finishing second and third, respectively. Only 2 open cars would get knocked out of the open cars that are in this duel. The 2 lowest finishers of them would be knocked out. So, as we got later and later, with some of them wrecked out, it made it easier to determine who was in, who was out. But anyway, so Byron, Hemrick, Wallace, McLeod, Newman, Truex Jr., Harvick, Bowman, Blasco, Custer, Hamlin, Ambrose, Keaton, Burton, Golding. They all finished. And then Haley, Houff. Why did I write 54? Oh, that's right. Sorry, Yaley. So Haley, Houff, Yaley, both Dillon brothers, Austin and then Ty, Fincham, Kyle Busch, Bell, and Larson all DNF'd. So Larson, Bell, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Yaley, and Houff, and Haley will have to start at the back in proverbial backup cars. And as such, Fincham and Ty Dillon are the two that got knocked out in terms of open cars. So, again, Andrew Keaton, solid run. Yes, he was toward the back, but he doesn't wreck out, so he maintains his outside pole position. And I already mentioned everything else. So, with all that being said, and I know I did a whole lot of explaining and whatnot, and I apologize for the rambling, but now we get to the starting lineup for the Daytona 500. Yes, I know you can't read the names. I can't do anything about that, but it's because of the camera and stuff. But so starting front row will be Anthony Alfredo and Andrew Keaton. Really weird to say this, but Cody Ware is starting third. Again, I know that's weird, but this is Duralast Cup Series. It gets weird. Again, Quinn Houff won a race last year. Reed Sorensen won a race last year. I mean, Chase Elliott didn't win a race last year. Penske sucked, so what can you do? Ware's third, Byron fourth, Briscoe fifth, Emmerich sixth, Chastain seventh, Wallace eighth, Buescher ninth, McLeod in 10th. Again, weird. Keselowski 11th, Newman 12th, DiBenedetto 13th, Truex Jr. 14th, Eric Jones 15th, Harvick 16th, Biffle 17th, Bowman 18th, Logano 19th, Blasco is 20th, Almirola 21st, Cole Custer 22nd, Sauber 23rd, Hamlin 24th, Stenhouse Jr. 25th. This was an error on Diecastbuffet's part. He put in the 32 of LaJoie instead of Ambrose, but Ambrose is starting 26th, Allmendinger 27th, Harrison Burton 28th, Ryan Blaney 29th, Craig Alding 30th, McDowell 31st, Haley 32nd, Elliott 33rd, Quinn Houff 34th, Kurt Busch 35th, J.J. Haley 36th, Austin Dillon 37th, Kyle Busch 38th, Christopher Bell 39th, and Kyle Larson will bring up the rear. So, in terms of the Duralast Cup Series, when's it going to be? Well, the Daytona 500 will be on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Diecastbuffet's YouTube channel. Again, links will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'm so glad to be doing this again. Obviously, Diecastbuffet knows how much this, this has been huge for me because I've had so much fun doing these points. I did it for Season 2 after the fact. I did it for Season 3 last year, and obviously doing it for Season 4 now. I'm hoping he keeps going season after season after season. I will obviously keep doing this. I don't think I'm going to ever do it from Season 1 because the fact that the first 2 races of that season were done as stop motions and then everything else was done as the format that we know now. So, yeah. But anyway, with all that being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe for more content like this. Also, subscribe to Diecastbuffet's channel. Again, links will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching. See y'all next time. Peace.